Welcome back to Get Down to Business, the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. Super excited for this conversation because I'm joined by the founder and CEO, as well as the director of sales and marketing at the Matrix Club, which we are going to hear all about, doing some awesome things. And again, it's always exciting to hear businesses that are actually innovating and growing in these, frankly, some challenging times. So again, welcome to Madan, Kulkarni, and Cherryl, Marcey. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
It's a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you. Absolutely. So, I honestly, I'm really excited to learn about the concept of the Matrix Club and sort of what the goal is for this fantastic new venue.
The goal is to provide a global platform for cultures from different parts of the world to interact, to present some of their best to the public, and bring people together, generally to bring people together of different cultures and look at the finer things of life. Like typically, you have food, you have art, you have culture, you have music. So the Matrix Club will provide a forum for all these different kinds of global cultures to come together and for the benefit of the community around here.
That's incredible. And I know you're located in Naperville, Illinois, and really a very premier events facility dedicated with lots of convenience, value, and state-of-the-art technology, which is exciting. And we're going to get into a little bit more of the specifics of what people can expect in just a moment. But located in Naperville, Illinois, when is this big grand opening scheduled for?
Right. So, the Matrix Club is we're opening in late April, early May, but we're planning on an opening in phases. So, the banquets and conventions first will be opening, like I said, late April. And then the restaurant, theater, yoga studio, dance studio, that's all going to come along in May as well. So come June 2022, all of our venues will be open to the public.
Right around the corner. Absolutely. Again, I'm chatting with Madan Kulkarni and Cherryl, Marcey from the Matrix Club, which, as you just heard a moment ago, is scheduled to open in just a couple of months in Naperville, Illinois. And I mean, I was just scribbling notes there, lots of facilities within the Matrix Club. And honestly, each of these things that you just talked about, I know Cherryl has been sharing, each of them is on its own would be a reason to come on to Get Down to Business. But I want to break it apart for our listeners because there's something really for everybody. So what I just heard is I know there's the Matrix Room. We've got a performing arts center, a yoga studio. Can you sort of break it down a little bit and again, tell us what people can expect?
Absolutely. Definitely a unique experience. So, starting with the banquets and the convention center, we can accommodate about 1,200 people for banquets, but then also it can be transformed into a concert room or hall, for 2,000 people. So with that, all high-tech, carefully curated audio visual systems will be in place featuring, Bose, RCF, Danley, Chauvet, producing high-quality sounds throughout. And then you had mentioned the Matrix Room, which is, a full service restaurant. It's 220 seats, the full service bar, especially with, mixology, being the trend. So we'll definitely have craft cocktails and a well-curated wine list as well, and that's where we'll be producing music and live performances. We'll have global and local live acts, on a daily basis there. And then finally, the yoga studio as well. So we'll have a yoga studio offering yoga classes and instructions from, we can actually do local and global as well on screens, a wide variety of practices and for experiences of all levels. But lastly, our cuisine needs to be highlighted throughout as well. We're excited to be featuring our Michelin-starred chef Yanni Sanchez. She'll be leading the food and beverage program throughout.
Amazing. That's a lot right there. So
There is.
I mean, I know our listeners are so curious to learn more about the Matrix Club. Again, opening in Naperville, Illinois, in just a couple of months, and we're going to squeeze in a quick break. But before we go to break, I'm curious, why did you decide to build a venue that houses so many different areas all under one roof? What are you hoping that again our listeners and your visitors can expect?
Basically, all these venues are synergistic with each other. The whole idea was that each one of them could interact with the other. Each one of them could be showcasing not only themselves but the other, and then can provide complementary support to that. For example, we have the Matrix Club, where suppose we have a big wedding going on, and once the wedding is over, typically at around 11 o'clock in the night, the young boys and girls and people come in and they ask for the nearest watering hole. They want to go and interact further with all their loved ones and friends and family who have typically come in from around the country or from around the world. So the Matrix room becomes a convenient venue for them to go from the Matrix Club. They just walk across the hallway and then go into the International Fusion Cuisine restaurant with a live music stage where most probably on the weekends, there'll be some celebrity DJs who will be performing. So it's a very convenient way of hanging around there, a very safe way of hanging around there. And once they are done at around 2 o'clock or 2:30 in the night, they are shuttled back to their hotels. So both for the parents and for the youngsters who are participating, becomes a very safe and enjoyable venue.
Absolutely. Again, we've been hearing from Madan Kulkarni, the founder and CEO, and Cherryl Marcey, Director of Sales and Marketing at the Matrix Club, premier convention, banquet, and performance venue in Naperville, Illinois. Got to squeeze in a very quick break, but we're going to continue our conversation with them when we return in just a moment here on Get Down to Business. Don't touch that dial. You are listening to the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. Well, we certainly have an international audience. Obviously, Chicago is near and dear to our heart over here as we broadcast on AM 560. By the way, you could always download podcasts from Get Down to Business on your favorite podcast app. But I love it in the fusion when things can come together. When we're talking about the Matrix Club with so many different venues, so many different resources from around the world and international cuisine, but located in the Chicagoland area. That is music to my ears. So again, I've been chatting with Madan Kulkarni and Cherryl Marcey from the Matrix Club, and they're opening up in just a couple of months in Naperville, Illinois. So what has been the reaction to the opening of this club? I know you've been out and about having lots of conversations and generating some excitement. Has it all been excitement?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Since we've gone under construction, this has been happening, for over a year, I want to say. The Matrix Club has been, if anything, highly anticipated, So the more we market our venue within the community, we've received nothing but positive feedback. Naperville is such a truly diverse community already, having so many cultural and ethnic groups residing within, the area and even the surrounding suburban areas as well. So folks have expressed appreciation to have a venue that celebrates and supports the blending of all cultures through, whether it's arts or through gatherings and events.
That's awesome. I'm excited to check out the Matrix Club for sure. And I know as soon as you open, you're going to have a busy calendar, lots of great acts coming into the venue. What can listeners that Get Down to Business expect very shortly when they check out on the website, which we'll share in just a moment?
People can expect a series of concerts and performances in all the three different stages. Like we have the main stage, which will be the Convention and Banquet Center, which has got a 70 by 30 foot stage with the latest in sound and a light from, curated by Bose RCF. So we have some international acts coming in there. Then on the stage in the Performing Arts Theater, which we forgot to mention earlier, the Drishti Performing Arts Center, there we will see acting workshops. You'll see little performances of music, poetry, literature, and plays. And then on the third stage, which is in the Matrix Room, the International Fusion Cuisine restaurant, you will see it's a very carefully marketed program where the major artists come in and perform at the major venues, but during the weekdays they have some spare time to perform an abbreviated gig for the local population. And it also becomes a win-win situation both for the promoters, for the artists, as well as for the local people to get up close and personal with some of their favorite artists from their part of the world.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's a Greek artist, then it's a huge opportunity for the Greek people to interact with their artists
Absolutely.
up close and personal. So
absolutely. Well, I've been scribbling notes, Madan. I've been scribbling notes and excited for what's coming. But I know our listeners don't need to scribble too many notes because all this information is up on your website. So where can people learn more about the Matrix Club and get in touch for some upcoming bookings?
Sure. Our website is www.matrixvenue.com, or you could reach us by phone, 630-581-7200.
That's fantastic. The Matrix Club. I'm excited to check it out. Again, I cannot thank our guests, Madan Kulkarni and Cherryl Marcey from the Matrix Club, for sharing a sneak peek of what to expect when they open in Naperville in just a couple of months. I encourage all of our listeners to definitely get on that website, which again, matrixvenue.com, which you can already start planning to host your next amazing event over at this just international venue. Very, very exciting. That's a wrap for us here on the show, all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. Get on my website, shalomklein.com. Check out our sponsors, Tom Marabali from healthplanchicago.com. Be sure to get on your favorite podcast app to download, subscribe, rate, review, and share. In fact, that's the easiest way to be informed about upcoming shows and upcoming guests. Every week, some new content, some new information, as you have discovered here today. So to success, let's get down to business. We'll talk to you next Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on AM 560, The Answer.